Toastmasters. I understand that is loosely translated, may I emphasize the word loosely, into welcome to Toastmasters. You may be asking yourself, why did you say that in Russian, and why am I not speaking Russian today? There's a great story behind that. It involves myself and a couple friends of mine, including my good friend Chuck Norris. It was 2001, right on the heels of Operation Enduring Freedom, this known as 9/11. There was also a lesser-known operation that was going on at the exact same time, which at the time was top secret. We needed to keep it classified for very good reason. Operation Extra Crispy took place on the border of Afghanistan and the Soviet Union. And the idea was to put a KFC on every corner and bring deep fried diplomacy to the Western Hemisphere. While we were on this mission, we were deep behind enemy lines. Chuck Norris and I were putting up our 8th location after a hard day's work, handing out samples, bringing everybody in. We decided to stop at a local watering hole to review the day, debrief, and prepare for the next day. Now, as Chuck and I were sitting back, having a couple of Dostoevskis, having a good time, we were just hanging out, minding our own business, having fun, when Chuck spots from across the bar a lady, not just any lady, the most beautiful lady in all of Russia, Ivana Stoyanovich. And Chuck says, "Hey, I'm going to go say hi." I said, "Man, I don't know about that. I heard her boyfriend's a big guy, knows a lot of people. We want to stay out of trouble. We're trying to make our friends here, right?" So Chuck said, No, it's cool. No big deal. We're going to be friends." So Chuck goes over, and this is a direct quote. He goes right up to Svetlana, says, "Hi. Do you know karate?" "Because your body's kicking." So I said, "Chuck, what are you doing?" He said, "No, it's cool, no big deal." Just then, a mountain of a man appears behind Chuck Norris. And I said, "Chuck, you better take a look, something's going on." Chuck turns around, and who is it but the Iron Sheik? And first of all, we're scared. I'm terrified for my life. This man is enormous. But then, a couple seconds later, I'm starstruck. I run up to him and I said, "Sheik, I'm a huge fan." He stares down at me. I feel about 2 feet tall at this point. He says, "Russia #1. I said, okay. "Iraq #1. Okay, yeah, that's cool, I got it. USA. Whoa, Sheik, hey, let's keep it friendly. So I challenge you to hockey game." "Hockey? What are you talking about, hockey?" We're in the Middle East here, Sheik. "Me and my friends against you. If we win, Russia take United States." "Well, what if we win, Chuck?" "Life supply of vodka." "Okay, fair bet." I said, "Wait, I can't authorize this myself. I got to call a friend." I call up President Bush at the time. I said, "G-Dub, I got something going down here. It's not looking good. I can't approve this, but I need your help." He said, "What you got going on, man?" I said, "Hey, it's Sheik. He's got his buddy Putin over there in the 1984 Russian hockey team. We can't take these guys." He said, "You know what? You take that Putin down, and then you call him back." Click. So that was the end of it. I knew we had to do something. Just then, I said, "Chuck, this is never going to go right. We can't take these guys. There's no way, and it's going to be our fault." Chuck puts a hand on my shoulder, says, "John, I built the hospital I was born in. There's nothing to worry about here." After a 2-hour slugfest, we fight this thing out. There's blood on the ice. Everybody is exhausted. Finally, we win. Out by the skin of our teeth, no explanation for it, we pull it off. Finally, Putin comes by, hands us a bottle of vodka, and says, "Okay, you good guys, more where this came from, on your way." I said, "Great. Sigh of relief, we're done." The biggest lesson I learned from this and from my time with Chuck Norris was that if at first you don't succeed, you're not Chuck Norris.
When I was young, 4, 5, 6 years old, my father had a 65 Mustang. He was pretty young, he was 23 at the time, with a lead foot, and I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. He had a souped up 65 Mustang, supercharger, and I used to love it. We'd go to school every morning, and in California, when we got on the freeway, we were way above the freeway, and you'd go on an on-ramp to get on the freeway going down this hill. And he would just floor it every day, and I was just pushed back in my seat with a big grin looking over the dash. No seatbelts, way back before seatbelts, right? Well, that planted a seed. It planted a seed in me that burgeoned into a need for speed. And so as an adrenaline junkie growing up, I did all kinds of things. Jumped my bike, lay my brother and his friends down, jumping over them, and all that stuff. And so this last weekend, I wasn't going to give a speech. You know, the last couple of weeks, I said, no, I don't want to do it. But then something happened this week and this last weekend that inspired me. I got a call from a buddy of mine on Saturday night. He said, hey, I've got 4 tickets to NASCAR, and we can't go. I'm like, I'll go. I love NASCAR. So he gives me the tickets, and I talk my wife into going. We're going to bring my wife and my 2 kids. I have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old. They're all excited, and I'm all excited. So we go down there in the morning, and we're gonna do the park and ride, right? So we get off the freeway, and we park, and we get on the school bus and drive in. We get into the gate there, and the guy says, well, the pit pass people are over there, so we're at the wrong gate. I'm like, pit pass? I look at the tickets, and sure enough, we get pit pass tickets, 4 of them, right? 4 tickets to NASCAR pit pass. I'm like, sweet, hundreds of dollars in tickets. So we go into the pits, we're walking around looking, and suddenly we see Kevin Harvick. And for those of you that don't know, Kevin Harvick's won 3 of the last 10 races at Phoenix. So I go over and we start talking to the guy, right? And I'm like, whoa, and get his autograph. My son starts talking to him, and I go and talk to the pit crew chief, Daryl. I'm talking to Daryl, and my son's talking to Kevin, and they're hitting it off. I'm like, my son's 9, you know, what's he talking to Kevin Harvick about? This is right before the race. So after we're done, we take off, and my son tells me that Kevin Harvick, he was telling Kevin Harvick about how I always loved to race, and I always wanted to race in NASCAR, and told me that Kevin Harvick said that if he wins the race, he'll let me drive the car. I'm like, come on. My son's 9. I'm thinking, okay, imagination, right? He said, no, Dad, I gave him your phone number. I'm like, okay. So we go up into the stands, the race starts. Great race, beautiful day. It was raining Saturday. We were worried that we weren't going to be able to make it. Beautiful day. We got the headsets. You can hear the drivers as they're going around the course. You can hear their spotters telling them, okay, you're clear, you're clear. You can hear, you know, when they wreck, you can hear all the action. It's super exciting. The kids had a great time. The race ends. We're like, okay, let's head home. So we get out of the stands and we're walking out. We're going back to the park and ride, you know, and everyone's in a big line, and we're sitting there. My son and I are like, brr, brr. You know, it's a big cattle guard going all through. Get back on the buses, right? So we're just about to get on the bus, and my phone rings. I'm like, hello? It's Daryl, the pit crew chief. He says, where you at? Come on back. Kevin Harvick won the race. I'm like, are you serious? He said, yeah, come back in. I'll meet you at the gate. I go back to the gate. Sure enough, there he is. He said, oh, come on, hurry. Apparently, when you win the race, you've got about 3 hours after the race to use the track. These guys have multiple cars, and so they had an extra car. They're like, come on, you can go for a ride. I'm thinking, cool, a ride. Maybe Kevin will be driving, right? So I get out there, and no, it's not Kevin driving. It's me driving. I get to drive. I'm like, you're kidding me? So they take me over to this booth. I sign my life away, right? I fill out the insurance. It's like $1,000 deductible. I'm like, sure, $1,000 if I wreck the car. How can you beat that, right? So sure enough, I get out there. I go around the track, 3 laps around PIR. Childhood dream realized, right? So we get done. I thank Kevin Harvick profusely. Thank his pit crew team. And we're leaving. We get back on the thing and we drive home. And this story was amazing. What an amazing experience, right? It'd be even more amazing if all of it was true. The reality is, I didn't meet Kevin Harvick. We didn't go to the pits. We did go to the race, and we had a great time. But the truth is, we got back on the bus, the park and ride bus, went back to the car, headed home, and I'm driving down the freeway, doing about 90. I look back and I see a car following me kind of close, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's just with me, right? And I'm going around like I always do, and I'm cutting the corners and the apex, and I'm pretty much racing in NASCAR like I do every single day of my life when I'm driving, and it was a cop. And So I got pulled over and told him, he said, you know how fast you're going? I said, I think it was up to like 77. He said, well, you were just a minute ago, but I had you at about 87 a few miles back. Been with you since Dobson Road. He said, oh, what's going on? I said, well, you know, we just came from NASCAR. He said, putting lanes there, and I said, well, you know, trying to be smooth. And so he gives me a warning. There's my warning from the Highway Patrol. This is contact.
Spanning the globe to bring you a day in the life of a mother. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. This is the human drama of raising children. Raising children. You wake to the sound of birds singing. And then you realize you woke up late. Task number 1, wake up the children. You must use the force. Victory! They are on their feet and headed towards the shower. You then wish that you could go back to bed, but you realize that you must start your morning march. Only to come upon complete chaos. Drink your breakfast, stuff your backpacks. It's off to the races. Get your shoes and out to the car. We have now entered the flight zone, or was it the twilight zone? And then you remember that you forgot something. Was it your child, your preschool child that you left home alone? Was it the teacher appreciation gift or the musical instrument? Or how about the fundraising box of cookie dough? Upon your return, you take your well-deserved spot on the couch, eating your bonbons and coconutties, and you gaze upon your phone and notice, I need lunch money. It's off to the rescue. I've come to save the day. And then, upon your return, the tower of dishes. And of course, there's always the never-ending, omnious pile of laundry. Briskly walk past your daughter's room that smells of flowers and clean laundry, only to come upon your son's room. Just close the door and keep walking. And of course, always the bathroom. What is that mysterious smell? And of course, if you actually remember to take your preschooler to class, you will get the opportunity to stroll the aisles of the grocery store as you gather food for the family. And then you remember that it's time again to pick up the kids. Again, off to the races, and you enter the flight of the bumblebees. As you greet each child, you get the reports. I didn't make the team. What will your dad say? I got a B on my progress report. To the box of shame for you. Your daughter's boyfriend broke up with her today. My prayers have been answered. Your son broke up with his girlfriend today. Was that his thoughts or mine? And of course, it's back to homework and dinner, and in between piano lessons, and of course, the soccer practice, and of course, dance class. mixed emotions as your husband returns home from work finally at the end of the evening. You gaze upon the clock on the wall, and you notice it's almost bedtime. Gather the children for prayer and scripture. Oh, the torture! And of course, then it's teeth brushing and pajama parties. And my personal favorite, story time. And last but not least, please don't forget your prayers. Victory! It is now 11:30 and the children are all asleep. Time for rest and relaxation. As you softly lay your head on your soft, fluffy pillow, you fall asleep to the sound of, Mom, can you pick me up from work? My car won't start. A mother's tale, a tall tale, you be the judge.